Hi, how you doing? My name's Hannah. My artist name is Jinx Jeans. And welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a different approach today to a video. The last couple ones, and the one I'm working on, if I'm pretty sure this is gonna come out even before that, is more vlog style and art related. But I wanted to do something a little different, talking, and just kind of, I don't know. I guess for you to get to know me a little bit more, because all of the videos and the clips I've done are, me in doing stuff, not necessarily I am talking to you, but it's a different vibe. Today it is a little later than I think a lot of people have been doing these. It's currently the 29th of January, so I am a little late on this, but I don't really care. But I wanted to do some ins and outs of 2024. I saw a lot of people, making these videos on TikTok. I don't know if they do it on YouTube, but I'm sure. So hopefully also you can, I don't know, you like it, get some enjoyment out of, take some of these with you. And honestly, a lot of these I just kind of randomly thought of on the spot. It was kind of the first things that came to my mind, because I felt like if I was thinking about it too long, then it wasn't important enough for me to do it. So a lot of these I made in 5 minutes, because it was just the first things that came into my head that I didn't like so much about last year, or I just want to do differently this year. I'll probably do in, out, until, and there's about 10. So let's get started. So my first in of 2024 would be making ugly art and sketches. Now I've already been kind of doing this the last couple months, and I want to take this even farther than I have before, because even making ugly art the last couple months, and when I mean ugly, I might mean sketches that I'm ugh, it's a little, ugh. And I've shared ugly sketches on TikTok in my sketchbook. We all got them, nobody can draw perfectly anything, perfect of everything. But that was a big problem growing up with art, and I think it was a lot with high school, because there's just so much perfectionism and comparison, not even just the internet, but the kids in my school. I would feel very intimidated by their skill set, because I really didn't push myself to be near that skill set. I only ever tried working on things that I knew I could draw well. So then the things that I couldn't draw well, I just never drew them. Or I would start, and then once I realized, I was oh, I can't actually do this, I would just not continue it. Now through this, I've done a couple different, I don't want to say techniques, tricks of drawing ugly art that has helped me, because I had a lot of perfectionism. And I think a big part of that honestly might be this part of YouTube in the art community. And this is, not even just recently, but since I was in high school, watching people do art, there's so many sketchbook tours, and I love sketchbook tours. I want to see how people draw, but I think that got in my head that sketchbooks had to be pretty. And so I would not ever try and do anything ugly outside of my sketchbook. In my sketchbook, nada. Instead of experimenting with different styles, different things to draw, and doing it in the order of my sketchbook, I decided that I would try and go into the back of my sketchbook, where I would think there was already, everything is filled up. But to be honest, I was not good at filling out my sketchbook. I would start drawing something, get mad that it was ugly, and then just the whole page would just be a loss. So I started going back to those pages where there was a lot of empty space, not a lot of things going on, but to me, I thought they were a waste. And I go back, and that's where I practice the ugly sketches. Something about going back into my sketchbook and using the pages that would have been a waste to begin with has helped me feel like I'm not wasting the sketchbook with these ugly drawings, because I was already gonna waste that page, because I didn't like how it turned out. And then I still date them, so I know that, oh, this was actually, only a couple months ago. So that has been really helpful with getting out of my comfort zone. I also I think now, because my idea of ugly art is different, I find a lot of the ugly drawings funny. One of the things I'm terrible at is drawing people. And so I would just, like, if I didn't know what else to draw, I would just try and draw whoever was around me, or like if somebody's sitting next to me, I just try and draw them. And let me mind you, they never turned out well. They never turned out well. They still never do. I'm not good at drawing people, but because they're not good, they end up being awful looking, and because of that, they're funny. They're funny looking. And so being able to take something you don't like I know it's not a good drawing, but to be like, that's actually really funny, and take it and put it into a positive mindset has also helped, because I'm like, well, if it's ugly, then it's just gonna be another funny drawing to add to my book. It's not gonna be serious, because sketchbooks really shouldn't be that serious. So yeah, making those ugly drawings like funny to you. I put comments next to my drawings being like, oh my god, what is this? Or, you know, if it looks like a character from a show that I had no intention of making it look like, I'll be like, oh, is that this character? Like, I'll make it funny, because in a way sketchbooks are like diaries, and so it's kind of showing of like where I was in my life, and then if I'm be able to make the jokes with them, or just writing down random thoughts sometimes too. And I mean, a lot of people do use their sketchbooks as diaries. They will draw, or they'll write in it, or like whatever. So that was a really long explanation for absolutely nothing. So we'll try and make this a little faster, but I need to make ugly art and sketches so I can get better. Thinking that I have to have the whole plan figured out before getting started. Now, this is a big thing when it comes to me wanting to sell my art, do something with it, you know, business related stuff. Now, I think it is very important to have a plan, and have, especially like really important things, big things, things that cost money, have a plan worked out and like have an idea of where you're going. But I think a lot of the times, I'm gonna say a lot of times, for me, because there's so much to do, so much to think about, I get overwhelmed and then I don't do it. And I think that's been really stopping me lately with wanting to sell art, make products out of art to sell, because I'm thinking so much on the logistics side and the business side of it that I like can't get started. Like, I can get help, I can ask people, but a lot of this is just gonna be on me. And so for me to be able to even just get started, I'm just gonna have to start with the knowledge that I have. When I mean start, I just mean like ordering some damn stickers. Like, I think about it too much where I'm like, well, I need to have a whole business account set up. I need to have all of these things set up. Things that take time to do. I'm thinking like, I need to do it before I even get started with anything else. And while it is good to have those things going, it's not gonna matter if I won't even start it. So I'm trying to get out of my head a little bit without that. Like, I have a plan. I'm just adding more unnecessary stress to myself because I feel like I should have everything 100%ed, and that's just not how it's gonna work for me, to be honest. Next, in experimenting with other mediums. Pretty self-explanatory. I have so much art crap, and I do experiment, I will say, with other mediums. I would say I experiment a little bit, but I want to do more. Maybe more textures, more, you know, like different types of paints and mediums. Like, I'm usually an oil girl, like an oil paint girl, but I haven't tried painting really in acrylic in a long time because I've just been so into oil, and plus the coverage is so much better. But I just haven't taken the time to like really try other mediums, because right now I'm just like, I love oil paint, I love painting with this, why would I change? But I have the supplies already, so it's like, girl, you need to use them. Another out, and now this isn't necessarily art related, but it's taking accountability for something I shouldn't have apologized for. And this really does go into childhood and people pleasing, and just trying to keep anyone from rocking the boat. I'm one of those chronic I'm sorry persons, where like, even if I didn't do anything, I say I'm sorry. Even if nothing actually even happened, I say I'm sorry, because it's just such a habit. And it's from, you know, childhood and a trauma. It's something that I need to work on, because I know my partner gets annoyed about it sometimes, because I'll think that I did something wrong and I did nothing wrong. So, and then this also goes on just with like, I think being a woman, and sometimes I just feel like I have to say sorry and be the small person in the room. Sometimes even like being plus size, like that adds to it. So I always feel like I need to make myself small. Maybe saying sorry for things that like I don't agree that I should be saying sorry for, but I do it anyway because I just don't want to deal with the whatever might come after that for standing up for myself. It's just like one of those, I just think that I'm a people pleaser at heart, and I just need to stop. So the next in is go out and find inspiration. Now this is, I think, really been difficult because of COVID, and I'm sure so many people can relate, but like going outside is not the same as it used to be. I mean, obviously the danger, there's just so much danger outside in general. I also live in Florida, so like danger. But basically from COVID and then moving, you know, I moved to Florida like in 2021 from, you know, Maryland, and that was the first time leaving the county. I grew up in the same county my whole life, and then moving in on my own with a partner as well. Like just a lot of things happening, and so I ended up just not going outside at all. I explored Florida for the first 6 to 8 months, maybe to a year, and then after a while I stopped going outside. I stopped doing things by myself. That was a really big problem, is that I wouldn't even like go to the grocery store or like go to get Dunkin' by myself or like anything by myself. I always had to have my partner with me, and I was kind of, you know, I hope I don't like offend anybody by using this word. I think I'm using it in the right way, but like I was kind of turning agoraphobic in a way where I did not want to go outside. But I don't even know if it would technically be agoraphobic, because I was fine with going outside to like take my dog for a walk around the area. Like I wanted to be outside for like the nature aspect, but like I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to go to stores. I didn't want to do any of that. And so it took a long time for me to start again. It was a while in therapy before I was like really trying to go out by myself, and even then it was still hard. But back to that, to stay out of this anxiety mindset, and this kind of relates to my fifth in, which is going out by myself to help with anxiety and draw coffee shops. These kind of go together, I'll say. One, yes, I want to find inspiration because I think going out and experiencing life is how you find your inspiration. That's how you get creative, and sitting at home all day doesn't really, you know, help with that. So I would like to go out and, you know, find inspiration, go take pictures somewhere. I will say, like, it is a little hard, I feel like, for myself, because I just don't vibe with the nature here, to be honest. I'm just so used to mountains and lots of greenery, and did I say mountains already? Whatever. The nature is just so different, and I find myself struggling here with the nature. Like, there are some very pretty parks and areas, but there have been times where I tried to go to a state park to like just to go on a walk and take pictures. I got my new camera, so I was like, I want to take pictures, and this trail was so long. It was like a 4-mile trail. We did not realize it was that long. 2, it was also, they had the 4-mile trail, which was their shortest trail, and then they had 3 other trails, and it was 8 miles, 10 miles, 12 miles. So like, we did the 4-mile one, and the 4-mile one was just going around a field basically, and it was just all like, it wasn't hay, but it was tall grass. That was all it was. And so I was like, God, I don't like this. Palm trees are beautiful, and it is nice how green it is all year, but there's just some nature that I just don't vibe with. It's been a little difficult doing that, but I found my places. I found a little park that I go to that's really nice to hang at. There's a plant nursery that I've gone to sketchbook club at, and they'd probably be fine with if people came to just hang out. So there's places to find the inspiration, for sure, and I wanted to find more inspiration. And on top of that, with going out just by myself, it really helps with the discomfort of anxiety. And I mean that as in, like, it's anxiety ridden going to do it by myself, but it gets easier every time. And if I do it more frequently, I get less anxiety. But then if I don't do it for months, that's when the anxiety starts to build again. I keep hitting this desk. That's when the anxiety starts to build again, and then I have a harder and harder time going out, and it kind of starts that cycle again. And so I really want to that was such a hard time for me. in my anxiety and like social being, because I just could not be social. I couldn't do anything by myself, and that was hard. Doing things by yourself is very important, especially when you're in a relationship, especially when you live with somebody. You need to do stuff by yourself, and I was becoming so dependent that I couldn't do anything by myself. My partner would go away on business trips, because they'll go for a business trip for like 3 to maybe 5 days is like the longest is 5 days. And I'd have a breakdown because I was so anxiety ridden of having to be by myself, and not in the I'm scared because of like, what if somebody breaks into my house? What if somebody does something to me? I was never that, because I have a dog, and I'm always confident that my dog would protect me if something happens. Never doubt that. So it wasn't in the danger of being like a woman aspect. It was just the anxiety of being alone, the anxiety of if I have to go out, I have to go out by myself. And that was really hard for a long time, you know, and I'm really glad and like, I'll say proud of myself that I kind of got out of that. And it was through a lot of therapy too. Like my therapist, woo, deserves a raise, because I just could not get out of the house. The next out is thinking I have to find a style when it comes to art. Now this is, I'm sure a lot of artists feel this way, where they feel intimidated if, especially newer artists, that they don't have a style, like all their art looks different. And listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, all of my art looks different. I go through phases, and I go through, I mean, it's part of the hyperfixation, I would say. It's just, so last year I started doing citrus series. It's actually, I think, kind of the beginning of 2022 into 2023. But I started doing a lot of citrus, and I'm sure you've seen on my Instagram and my TikToks if you go there. So like, you know, citrus, and then I would take citrus idea and do like a whole, like try and do different ideas with the citrus. So this one is the moon phases, if you couldn't tell, of citrus. This is called Citrus Cycle. I do love that one, to be honest. I'm very proud about how this one turned out, just because it's very, to me, aesthetically pleasing, the colors, and then it's textured, so you can really feel the citrus. My point being, I thought I found my style. I was like, oh, citrus, so fun. Aesthetically pleasing, easy to make. And this kind of goes back into the making ugly art and sketches, which was, citrus was easy for me to do. Now, granted, like I have painting, like my first painting of my citrus, like I don't like it. Like it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing at all compared to the later editions. Obviously, because I did so many and I found a style. But I wasn't really going out of my comfort zone at all, I would say. I just kept drawing citrus, and then I would try to go out of my comfort zone, trying to do like the different ideas like the moon, or I'd had like other ones that I really wanted to do, like an ice cream citrus, or like, I don't even, like a record player, where like the record citrus. And I had those ideas, but those ideas were too hard to conceptualize and draw because I never fucking practiced. So where I end up with that story basically is, I got tired of citrus. I came back into, I had a bit of a depressive episode from like spring, summer of last year. And then when I got out of that and back into art, I was like, I don't vibe with this. Like, I do vibe with it. I like doing it. It's fun. It's a good turn off your brain painting style, or even like I would do it in other types of mediums. It's a good pattern for me to do to turn off my brain. It's like my pattern. Now, is it my style? Not really anymore. I think it's like a phase of life. It's a hyperfixation. I went through this style phase where I was like, all these citrus, and then I just realized it wasn't what I want to do. I got really into ducks and animals, and I mean, I love ducks in the world, like actual ducks. Love ducks so much, like one of my favorite animals. And then I started in my sketchbook. That's kind of when I stopped caring so much about the making pretty art in my sketchbook. I was like, I can just draw ugly. But those sketches weren't turning out ugly. They were awesome. I was doing so well because I was just pushing my envelope a little bit. And of course there were some that weren't great. I didn't love everyone, but there was a lot of them where I was like, damn, I really pulled this out of my ass. And I think that's kind of when the realization, I always knew you had to draw and sketch and make things you didn't like for it to get better. I mean, it's just a matter of fact. I didn't want to do that, but this was the first time I think it really connected, where making my ugly art and just not caring was helping my abilities. Because even though I was drawing people and I'm not good at drawing people, I was still trying. I wasn't just like, you know, some of them were a little bit more like faster sketches than others, but I was trying. And so because even if they're not good, but even the trying, you're still training your brain, you're training your hand. Me looking at a picture and following it with my eyes and trying to draw it next to me is, whether good or bad, is practice. And while I might have not have thought about all these ugly sketches I was doing as practice, because I was just like, whatever, you know, I just want to doodle, it was helping. And I feel like it was starting to connect that like my skills were getting better. I was making art that I actually liked. Like, I mean, I like my citrus, but it never was like something I wanted to create. I don't know how to explain it, as in like, there's certain things in my head that I like wanted to make. There's, you know, more gothic things, maybe more animals, more, I don't know, more things that I'm more like interested in, like the other things I'm interested in life, but into my art. But I was never confident in my abilities. I never tried really to, after one or two sketches, try after that. And because I stopped caring, I was able to make pieces that I actually was like, oh my god, I can do this. I can make the things I want to make because I'm pushing my envelope. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Bada bing, bada boom. So let me show you some ducks. Now, the first duck I ended up doing was this one. And I actually think I posted a short on YouTube of me painting this. Now, when I tell you the ecstaticness I felt when I finished this, and I was like, my skills are getting better. Because it just felt like so long I was so stagnant because I didn't try to become, I wanted to be better, I didn't try to become better. And so now that I was actually trying and I was getting these results. Oh, the beaks are still, I'm gonna say for all of them, something I'm still working on. The beaks are so hard for me. I think they look good, but it's still like not mine. So that was the first one. This beak actually is pretty good. This is the second one. And as you can tell, I really like the pop art type style in a way. I like bright colors. I mean, these mallard ducks are pretty. These are the ducks that have the green heads and then the brown bodies. So they are pretty. They have a lot of colors, but I just wanted to do like color. This one is still, so these are new, like recent. So they're not even dry yet. But, and then this was my other one. The eyes, this one was a lot harder, I would say. The eyes are kind of harder to see in the camera. They're up here. It's a little goofy looking, but in a cute, like in a cool goofy looking way. Because they're like, the duck was like, the perception of the duck was a lot different. And then this is the other one. Okay, looking at this in the camera, it looks fucking ugly. This one looks a little wacky. Now that I'm like holding. Like, I love the nails. I think I did a good job on the nails. And I added that black because you lost the feet in the pink. Very much so. Why does it look, I feel like it doesn't look this weird in person. Maybe it does. The eye is really freaking me out. Anybody else? Look at that eye. Kind of creepy. I don't think I like this. I feel like is it because it's inverted on the camera that it looks weird? Because in person, I feel like it doesn't look that weird. But why does it look like that? I need some second opinions, like in person. I don't think I think the invertedness of this is really messing this up, because what the fuck is that? I didn't paint that. I painted this, not that. So yes, I haven't found a style. I think that my style is painting what I like at the moment, to be honest. Now because like, not all my paintings are gonna be like this, where it has like these stroke marks, obviously. I feel like I did this more because to give like the furry effect. I like this technique and I want to see if like other things will kind of work with it. probably other animals that are fluffy. I don't think this is gonna be my forever style. Like, I think there's like, because then I also have like my ghost paintings that are more illustrative paintings. Like they're oil paint, but they look like an illustration, like a clean cut, clean lines. It's just whatever you feel, and I think there's no shame in that. And I think there's a lot of anxiety and confusion, or it's like that comparison type thing as well, where it's like you don't have to be like everybody else. Like if a person finds their style, it's because they've been painting and drawing and doing everything they can to find that style. And most of the time when they find that style, or because they found that style, it was because they were looking at other artists that had the same style, or that had styles that they liked, and they just took pieces and pieces from the different places they liked and put it in their painting or put it in their art. And that's how you find style. If you're still like, I want to find a style, then you just need to look at the artists that you really like. Gather up a group of artists on Instagram, TikTok, wherever that you really like. Examine their work. Use it like study material. Don't copy their art. I mean, I would say like, you could maybe copy as in like for practice in your sketchbook. Don't, try and profit off of it, of course. That's literally stealing. But, you can use other people's art and inspiration for yourself. Another in is giving myself rest when I feel burnout coming. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. As artists, as neurodivergent people, I personally believe I have ADHD and autism, so it comes, I feel like, a lot in waves. And sometimes it doesn't always work with my brain, Sometimes my body, even my mind could be tired and I'm mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. But I'm so understimulated, I'm so understimulated, I want to do something. And that is either video games, art, actually, I don't even know. Like, there are random things that I do. Plants, I don't know. I'm so understimulated that I want to do stuff. And even when I have maybe my brain and my body being like, no, you need to, like, just rest. And I'll feel it behind my eyes. Not even, like, in a headache type way, but, like, I'm just tired. And sometimes I ignore it. Sometimes I listen to it. And I notice when I listen to it, and it's not even, like, taking a break for a whole day. It's like, I'm just gonna go lay on the couch for 30 to an hour to just kind of give myself some rejuvenation time. And then sometimes that's all I need. I just need a little bit of time just to chill out and get my brain a break. And then I can go back into painting, go back into whatever else I'm doing. And other times I just end up staying there. I end up taking a nap because I guess I didn't realize how much my body needed it. And it's frustrating because my brain doesn't always keep up with my body, or my fixations don't even keep up with my brain because I'm exhausted and I'm tired, but I need to do something. So I think it's finding the balance to it, but also like just listening. I need to listen to my body. I need to listen when I'm like, okay, your eyes are feeling a little tight, a little dry, a little sleepy-eepy. You maybe go take a little nap. And honestly, I think that's probably one of the best things. And if you can nap, you should, because you'll get some of that steam back if you need it. I have 2 more outs because I kind of did a 2-in-1 with the ends. So one of the outs is comparing my art business journey to other people, specifically online. Pretty self-explanatory. I want to start selling art, and there's just so many people selling their art, and it's so hard to get caught up. And it's with their actual art and their business model that they're using. There's a lot of YouTuber art businesses that I look to, and I'm like, I want that life, and it's hard to not compare. And so I've been trying really hard, 1, not to compare with the art, and then 2, not to compare with what they have, because I'm grateful for what I have now, and I know that if I just work at it, I couldn't get there. Like, it is a possibility. And so instead of comparing myself, I just need to believe in myself. Of course, with online, it's everywhere, and it feels like the market is oversaturated, and that really hurt me last year. Granted, going through a lot of mental stuff and physical stuff, so I was just not in a good place last year. The beginning of the year was really like intended on me building my business, and then by like April, May, I was like, what's the point? There's so many artists out there. It's oversaturated. Who's gonna want my art? Also, I will say, because of this, or like this thought process wasn't just because of other people, but it was because of myself, because I was self-conscious of my own work. Got the citrus. I love the citrus. Citrus, it's beautiful, and I think people do like this. But I think I was having a hard time imagining building a whole brand and business off of citrus. I self-doubted myself, I was comparing myself, and then at the same time, because of all the comparison, I was just like, this market is oversaturated, there's no room for me. And that's never true. I think there's always a room for everybody. Everybody has a different perspective of whatever. And if you're talking about two artists, some people might not like, some people might like their art and not the person, and so they don't watch over that. Some people might like the person and not the art, then they still watch. Like, there's so many types of situations for people to get found and like to find their community. The last out is stop trying so hard to make friends. And this is obviously a general life one. This is hard because as an adult, it is hard to make new friends. And so you kind of have to be a try-hard with making friends. You have to be productive and put yourself out there. Proactive, not productive. Proactive and put yourself out there. And whether that is with work, with clubs, with just meetups in general, you like kind of have to put yourself out there. And so the first year or so I was out here, I was like, I need friends. Like, I don't have anybody here. And so I'd go on Bumble and I would talk to people, and I'd really only find like one person at a time because I just couldn't handle talking to so many people and hanging out with so many people. And I was also going through the time of not wanting to go outside. So like, it was kind of hard to meet friends when you don't want to meet up with them. But I was also trying to like get over that. So anyway, I met like up to 3 friends here, and that's just none of them stuck. And no shade, no tea to them. Like, they were all nice people, and we had our time together and it was great. I know a lot of it was me because I was going through the not wanting to hang out with people, but I wanted to hang out with people and phase. And I get really into my head about when I don't text somebody for a long time. And so I would end up not texting somebody for like 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, they hate me because they also didn't text me back. Or I don't know. It was just a lot in my head about friends. And I think it's sometimes with friends, it's kind of like that phrase with relationships, like when you stop looking, you'll find it. And I think that's kind of what's been happening. I started going to Sketchbook Club, which you've probably seen, I don't know when this is coming out, but there's video clips of it somewhere. And I've been going to Sketchbook Club and to make friends, to meet people, because I just didn't know any people. And then this is also because there's fellow creators, people who are into the same things as I am. And not always, but a lot of people I'm sure that are into the creatives are going to be more like neurodivergent, type people. So a lot of people that are kind of like me and more my crew. I started going, and the first meetup, I was just like chit-chatting, but it was just more to like get out there. And going to these meetings, my intention necessarily wasn't to meet friends. It was to meet people and to get out of the house and sketch and like just be part of a community. But I wasn't necessarily specifically looking for friends, because I also was like, I just like don't know where I am mentally to do that. I also want to leave Florida, so like I don't want to be here that much longer. And so it's like, why would I meet friends? Because I'm just gonna leave. But because I went there, I've gone there about 5 times now. I've met like 3 or 4 people, 3 people that I like hanging with. And now I go there to actually see, not specifically see them, but like I go there and I search them out to hang out with them and to talk. It's so nice because I would call them friends, but are they friends that I would hang out with outside of that? I don't know. I really don't know. I like being able to just kind of hang out with them at this like designated space that's like, you don't have to come, you leave when you want, you come when you want. And so I really enjoy the commitment piece of these friends, where it's like, and we follow each other on Instagram and they're sweet, and we're still so new at each other that I don't know how, like, if we would hang out outside, but I don't care about that. That's not why I wanted to hang out with them. And so I think it's nice that it's kind of just like this little not rule, but like this little thing where it's like, yeah, we're friends at Sketchbook Club, and I mean, if we decide to hang out or go get something afterwards, like, dope, I would. But there's no commitment part, really. I get really anxious when I don't text people for a while, because then I think, what's the point? Like, I haven't texted them, then it's like I get really into my head. And so just having these people that I don't need to text but we're friends. Honestly, I like that. I wanted to stop trying so hard to make friends, because when I did stop trying hard to make friends, I made friends. So I think that, and that might not be for everyone. I think if you are one of those people that like have a hard time making friends, and you are a try-hard with making friends, maybe try and just kind of relax in a bit. Take it back. Take it so you're not putting so much pressure on yourself. I would say the one thing to be proactive at is maybe finding a space where you can meet those people, but you still want to go there even without the intention of meeting people. So like my example with the sketchbook club, like I didn't intend to meet people there, like friends. I just knew I was gonna talk to like-minded people, and then even if I didn't talk to people, I was just gonna hang out with myself and draw. And so I think finding those, I guess they're third places, finding those places where there's no commitment, there's no like you have to do this, have to do that, like somewhere easygoing that's not gonna put you over the edge is kind of, I think, important. So yeah, that is my in and out of 2024. A lot of rambling. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to edit a lot of this. But it's, I mean, all of this honestly is true. Like, a lot of it is. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if any of these resonated with you. If you have any big ins and outs that you want to, you know, start with. Obviously, these things are gonna take time. Like, I guess you could say they're kind of like resolutions, but like nobody is gonna get these done in a month. You know, as long as everyone's making themselves 1% better, then that's all you can ask for, really. You know, this is a later in the month, and even as I am now, I feel like I've already implemented a lot of these already into my month, you know? So it's just gonna be pushing myself to do it even more and more and more. I hope you liked this video. I hope you related to any of these at all. Let me know maybe what you want to see next if you like these kind of talking ones. I have a lot of footage from a vlog I need to upload that I'm procrastinating on, so this might go up first because it'll be shorter to edit. So but thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.